So I know this is a really old story, but it's something really, really significant that I had seen. I never had seen specifically the video clip of Ben Shapiro's insane comments on radical Muslims, and it was really scary. Because first of all, his comments were really insane, and then the issue of, if you recall, there was the Quebec mosque shooting that I believe had happened in 2017, where there were, I want to say, like 6 to 8 people who were killed, and then I think it was like 19 injured. It was a shooting, and it turned out to be this guy named Alexandre Bissonnette. And he was somebody who, I guess his friends had said that he was like really anti-Muslim and very far right wing. And we found out that Ben Shapiro was the Twitter account that he had visited most. And you can actually see direct links of the insane shit that Ben Shapiro was saying and what Bissonnette did and how he did it. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to show you exactly the clip here of Ben Shapiro's comments that are so close to teetering to it. Check it out.
Question isn't whether Islam itself is violent. It's what its adherents believe, because that's what they act upon. There's plenty of violent material in the Old and New Testaments. Hey, I'm an Orthodox Jew. I read the Old Testament a lot. But believers in those particular texts are not currently ramming airliners into towers or beheading journalists or mutilating female genitalia. How about in the West? Okay, let's take it to France. France, 4.7 million Muslims live there. A 2007 poll showed 35% of French Muslims said suicide bombings could sometimes be justified. It's 1.6 million radical Muslims living in France. Great Britain, 2.8 million Muslims living there. 78% wanted cartoonists of Muhammad legally prosecuted. So we're talking about 2.2 million radical Muslims in Great Britain. How about here in the United States? Well, we have a very moderate Muslim population. We do. 2.6 million Muslims live here, according to Pew Research. 13% said violence against civilians can be justified. 19% said they were either favorable toward al-Qaeda or just didn't know. Because who knows, really? That's almost 500,000 radical Muslims here in the United States. Here is the total of the countries that we've gone through just now. 680,030,000. 680,030,000 radical Muslims. And that's out of a total population in those countries of 942.4 million Muslims total. And it seems fair to assume that similar proportions of people in countries like Algeria, Syria, Sudan, Saudi Arabia, Yemen, Tunisia, Somalia, and Libya are also radicalized. And if they are, then, well, we're above 800 million Muslims who are radicalized, more than half the Muslims on earth. That's not a minority, that's now a majority, and that's still not even surveying hundreds of millions of Muslims in other countries. In other words, the myth of the tiny radical Muslim minority is just that. It's a myth. And, unfortunately, it's a myth that's going to get a lot of civilized people killed.
Qui pourrait faire en sorte que, d'une certaine façon, tu as commencé à avoir des pensées ou une façon... Oui.
C'était en 2014, avec l'attaque du Parlement.
Parlement à Ottawa?
Oui. Okay. Puis après ça aussi, le camion qui a écrasé plein de monde, puis des enfants, puis tout ça.
À Nice?
Oui. Des femmes, des enfants. 80 personnes.
Oui.
80. Puis.
Dans une fête où tout le monde pense qu'ils sont en sécurité.
Puis je suis comme sûr qu'ils vont venir comme tuer mes parents aussi, ma famille.
OK.
Ça, j'en suis convaincu.
OK.
Puis c'est ça, pour ça, tu sais, que fallait que je fasse quelque chose, tu sais, pour... Tu sais...
OK. J'aurais une dernière question à te poser. C'est très important que tu sois honnête avec moi.
Oui.
D'accord? Comme depuis le début.
Oui.
D'accord? Oui. Hier, quand tu as décidé là, que c'était aujourd'hui que tu allais faire ça, hier matin, tu écoutes la télé, tu vois un reportage ou quelque chose concernant que le Canada va accepter plus d'immigrants parce que les Américains disent qu'ils vont en accepter moins.
Oui.
Tu s'entends? C'est un peu ça, là.
Oui.
OK. Lorsque tu as pris ta décision, là, que c'est ça que tu allais faire,
oui.
OK? Aller sauver des vies, là.
Oui.
Dans ta tête à toi, c'était...
Ben oui.
OK, parfait. Mais tu savais que ce que tu allais faire, c'était mal quand même. Est-ce que tu savais qu'il allait avoir des conséquences à ton geste?
Ben non, c'était pas mal pas tout.
Wow, man, those comments are so unbelievable. You're talking about making the claim that a majority of Muslims are radicals who are going to come for your family. And I believe in the video, he even makes a comment saying that, by the time they start coming for everyone who doesn't look like Obama, it'll be too late or something like that. But you see there that basically he even talks about those in France. Now remember, Quebec is it's a mostly French-speaking province in Canada. So you can see the exact link. And apparently a bunch of people who are in Quebec are, French speakers, including those Muslims who are there. Because my understanding is they prioritize people who speak French. And so they would have people coming in from different former French or current former French colonies that exist. So you can see a super direct link. And as you see at the end there, he finishes off the video with saying, Ben Shapiro finishes off the video saying, he basically says that, if this something doesn't happen, there's going to be a lot of innocent people killed. And so what he did is he radicalized this dude to basically think that these people were coming after his family. And remember this, there's a very specific link. And remember that Ben Shapiro came out with a very bullshit ass defense of saying that'd be like Bernie Sanders being responsible for the shooter who did it on a progressive behalf, which isn't true because there's no discernible link from what Bernie Sanders said to the shooting. This one, there's a literal direct link. We know that Ben Shapiro was this dude's most viewed Twitter account. We know that there's video footage of Ben Shapiro saying that there's a majority of Muslims who are radicals. And he specifically even brings up France. And remember, Quebec is I think mostly French-speaking province in Canada. So there's a super closely drawn line there. And at the end, he says that, if we don't do anything, there's going to be a lot of innocent civilians killed. So there's a super direct link, and it's really scary. And Ben Shapiro has a big history of Islamophobia and anti-Islam rhetoric. He's written a lot of articles like that in the past. There's another example of them trying to claim that. Think about that, guys. Claiming that a majority of them are radicals. That's insane. That's unbelievably insane. It's extremely irresponsible. And this is why people have to be, at least somewhat careful as to what you're saying. Because when you say something so crazy, you're going to directly lead to a lunatic letting off the way that Alexandre Bissonnette did. So that's the story of how Ben Shapiro radicalized a, white nationalist terrorist.